Hello and welcome to another one of my revisited videos for the Sega Saturn. This time I'm going to be playing Ballerina Toshinden Remix. God, that's offensive on the ears. Let me turn that down a little bit. So yeah, Ballerina Toshinden. I first played my memories of this game was playing the demo with my cousin when I was younger, and I thought it was a really fun game. It was quite funny, and I've never really been able to recapture that kind of, I wouldn't say passion, but that kind of feeling for the game. For some reason this has like offensive sound compared to the last game that I just played, which is kind of strange and annoying at the same time. So yeah, originally my memories of this game are as a PS1 game. This is the remix version, obviously, and I'm guessing it's kind of like that. Okay, it was delayed for the Sega Saturn. It came out a bit later, so we will make it, I don't know, like the definitive version, like they kind of do nowadays when a game gets released late on a system. I'm not really sure, whatever. I'm just preoccupied there with capture device and why it doesn't say record on the screen and things, but hey, right.
Tell me I have to beat up an old man.
To be honest, I don't really remember any of these things from the original game on the PlayStation, but they might be there. I did pick that game up at some point for the PlayStation, I believe. So, or did I pick up the Ballerina Toshinden 2? I'm not sure. I did own one of them at one point. So initial impressions of this game on the Saturn feels very, very sluggish. I think was it yesterday or the day before I was playing Virtua Fighter 2, 60 frames per second, very fast, very responsive game, apart from when you're in the air. This game kind of plays like the Dural boss fight where you're underwater. The game initially to me feels just like you're playing through treacle. So yeah, like I say, like the very first time I played this game, I quite enjoyed it. I thought it was quite a simple game, not complex by any stretch of the imagination, but it had a certain charm, especially the way you could like do comedy ring outs, like you'd win a match and then your character would do a celebration and fall off the edge of the stage. That was always quite amusing. But yeah, this feels very, very sluggish and horrible, to be honest. That guy's head looks like disproportional to his body as well. So yeah, allegedly the Sega Saturn, not a game console renowned or in fact designed for its 3D capabilities, should I say. Yeah, I guess the Saturn's the king of the 32-bit 2D fighters and not 3D. Oh, I would like to play the kind of, an NTSC version of this game on an NTSC console, just to see if it runs faster, basically. Because that might be the problem. It could be a game that there's a sloppy PAL port. But the animation seems to be very lacking. There doesn't seem to be too many frames of animation when you're actually pulling moves off. It's like the game's running at about 15 frames per second, and each move has 3 frames of animation. It doesn't feel slick at all. It doesn't feel right. And there's a little bit of jerkiness when a character moves any sort of distance across the screen in a kind of quick succession. I know what I mean. So yeah, graphically it's blocky, not particularly vibrant. It's vibrant, but not Sega standards of vibrant. And sluggish. I don't think there's not really a problem with the responsiveness of the controls, but I think there is with the game engine. I think the game does respond quickly to control sort of inputs, but just what happens on screen doesn't reassure you, let's say. Oh. If you want to play a smooth, a very smooth fighting game, check out Table Number 1 or Table Number 2 on the PlayStation. They're kind of weird, very weird, obscure fighting games. Pretty nice, but not quite as well known as your Tekkens and Soul Caliburs and Virtua Fighter series, obviously on the Sega consoles. One thing this game does have going for it is I put it on very easy difficulty. At least it is very easy difficulty. There's nothing worse than when you play a game, it's sluggish, it's got broken controls, visuals are shit, and then it's just fucking excruciatingly difficult. This game is very easy, as you all see from me playing it now. So it's got that in it. It is entertaining in that sense that you can just plod through the game despite its inherent problems. I don't really have any complaints about the sound, but then I don't really have anything to say about it, which is a bad thing really in my opinion. I will say that the kind of 2D backgrounds do scale in relation to the 3D ring a lot better than they did in Virtua Fighter 2, but that's not saying that this game has better graphics than Virtua Fighter 2, it's just that kind of stuck out as a minor flaw when I was playing Virtua Fighter 2. Nice how the camera pans in and out as well on this game, even if it's not the smoothest. Characters are kind of lacking in detail as well, I guess. And there we go, a comedy ring out where it falls through the floor, never to be seen again. Imagine how gutted you'd have been spending 40-50 quid on this game back in the day. And you have to remember that despite inflation, games have never really gone up in price drastically. I mean, games used to cost 40-50 quid, you know, and I was like 10 years old, and they still cost that now. So in theory, game prices are at an all-time low, even though people will still moan about it, and still got kind of reason to really. But yeah, games back in the day were very little content, hard as nails, difficulty. This game kind of doesn't really follow that that mould. It's very easy. And this guy, I assume he's either the final boss or kind of like a sub boss, and now we see him jerk across the screen and lay on the floor. You want noodles? Alright, right. Let's do this, motherfucker. Yeah, bitch. So yeah, I've not really experimented with any sort of combos or special moves or throws in this video. You don't need to. I don't think it would really benefit you that much to start worrying about that sort of things. It's more of just a button masher and very casual beat 'em up, let's say. And there we go. Is that the game completed? Blah 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 blah. I would be amazed if they decided to ever kind of reboot and start making Ballerina Toshinden games again. That would be like the most ridiculous thing ever. Oh, there is another guy to fight. Let's do this pussy in. Look, it's the Leaning Tower of Penis in the background. Look, cunt fucks. It is annoying how you can completely face the opposite direction and your character just carries on attacking in that direction. Hold on. This guy's like thinks he's in fucking Street Fighter or some shit. He'll get knocked the fuck out. Yeah, like that. Put that bitch on his back. I don't know what's going on with my voice, it's kind of hoarse. Some kind of Castlevania-esque music in the background for no apparent reason. Oh shit. Shit. Showdown. Whoops. To be honest, I think that Battle Monsters on the Saturn has more depth in this game, and that's saying something. Not criticising Battle Monsters, I love the style of that game, it's just a really unique Mortal Kombat clone. That's gotta be it, there can't be another fight. That'll be outrageous. Jesus, all these fucking intermissions. Alright, so I'm going to draw the line now. I think that these characters I'm fighting now were ones that I may be wrong. Obviously, I'm not a Ballerina Toshinden expert on the kind of PS1 game. I believe that there's a couple of characters that didn't exist in the PlayStation version. I mean, we might be into that territory now. I may be wrong, but who cares? I'm going to end the video because the game is just full on. Well, the game's mediocre on the PlayStation really, and as far as I remember, the PlayStation version played better than this. This isn't a fluid fighting game. There's no real combos. The special moves are like, who gives a shit. I think you just basically press the Z and the X, Y, Z buttons and it does the special moves for you anyway, so it's kind of lame in that respect. So yeah, that's Battle Arena Toshinden Remix. Obviously if you're going for a full Saturn collection you'll want to pick it up, but certainly not an essential on the system. It's not an essential on the PlayStation, and I'm guessing the PlayStation version is actually better than this, which is, I don't know, is generally the case with 3D games that appeared on both systems. You can add a couple of characters to this, but if the game's sluggish and diabolical, then it's still sluggish and diabolical even with extra characters.